Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know where someone's heart truly is, don't listen to what they say, watch how they greet you. Because in that first moment, when you walk into the room, everything is revealed. If he lights up like you're his peace, his home, his person, his heart has already chosen you. But if he greets you like you're just there, then believe him. That greeting, it's not small. It's the loudest thing he'll never say out loud. Stay with me. Because once you understand this, you'll never overlook a hello again. When someone greets you with genuine joy, it reveals more than just their mood in the moment. It uncovers their emotional truth. A person may say all the right words, make promises, or even act affectionately at times, but if their energy doesn't shift the moment they see you, something's off. That look in their eyes when you arrive, the smile that appears before they speak, it's real, unfiltered, and nearly impossible to fake. The way someone greets you tells you whether your presence brings them peace or just fills a space. There's no script to hide behind in a spontaneous moment. It's raw. If they greet you like you matter, you already do. That's not something that needs to be guessed. It's felt. So often, people look for love in the grand gestures, but they miss the clues found in the smallest interactions. The greeting, the very first few seconds, says more than a long conversation. When someone has truly chosen you, they don't just smile. Their whole energy rises. It's not about being loud or theatrical. It's about how present they are. When you walk into the room and their attention naturally shifts toward you, that's not just awareness, it's emotional focus. Their eyes pause, their body turns. You don't have to force it. It happens because their heart already knows where to land. Think about the people who make you feel safe. Chances are, yet they're the ones who look genuinely happy when they see you. It doesn't matter whether you've been gone for a week or walked into the kitchen after 5 minutes. Some people greet you like they're grateful for another moment with you. That's love in motion. You don't need someone to perform for you. You need someone who simply lights up, not because they have to, but because they want to. That kind of response doesn't come from calculation or obligation. It's a reflex of care. There's something incredibly telling about a person who doesn't let life distractions dim their greeting. Even when they're busy, they still find a second to acknowledge you fully. A nod, a look, a word that says, "You're here and I'm glad." They don't ignore your presence or let their phone take priority over connection. And they certainly don't let silence speak when affection is warranted. If you constantly feel like you're arriving unannounced in someone's life, their heart hasn't truly chosen you. When it has, they make space, even in a single moment, for you to feel seen. Emotional investment doesn't scream. It whispers in the way they lean in when they see you. The small pause in their day just to welcome you back into it. The way they soften when they hear your voice again. If their greeting carries warmth, comfort, and genuine interest, that's the evidence. It's subtle, but powerful. A real connection doesn't need an invitation. It welcomes itself. If someone greets you like you belong, it's because you do. Not out of convenience, not for show, but because their soul already knows it feels better with you around. We've all been in situations where we question someone's feelings because their words didn't match their vibe. You shouldn't have to decode emotions like a puzzle. If their greeting doesn't make you feel like they've missed your energy, even slightly, then maybe they haven't. Affection doesn't hide, it leaks into their tone, their body language, their eagerness to bring you into their world. A heartfelt greeting feels like a homecoming, even after an ordinary day. It doesn't need an explanation. It's felt without being spoken. That's what clarity looks like in love. It's easy to chase people who are inconsistent. They might give you a big display one day and go cold the next. But the one whose heart has already chosen you will always greet you with steadiness. Their affection won't depend on the mood or moment. It will be there, anchored. You won't feel like you have to earn it each time you show up. Their greeting isn't a performance. It's an expression of where you already live in their heart. And that kind of consistency doesn't need reassurance. It simply shows up every time you do. Some people wait to say what they feel, but their body already speaks. You can see love in how they look up when you enter the room, in how their energy changes before a word is spoken. If someone values you deeply, they won't greet you with indifference. There will always be that subtle shift. Shoulders relax, voice softens, expression opens. You'll feel it before they say anything. And that's the key. When affection is real, it arrives before the conversation. It's visible in the transition from being alone to being with you. We're taught to analyze relationships with logic, but connection is emotional. You don't always need to ask, do they like me? Watch how they act when they first see you. If they greet you like your presence adds something to their life, it does. If they welcome you like their favorite moment just walked in, it's because it did. The heart speaks clearly in that brief opening window. It doesn't need to explain, it just reacts. And those reactions, when sincere, are worth far more than 1,000 perfect words spoken later. At the end of the day, you deserve to be greeted like a priority, not an afterthought. You deserve someone whose smile is real, whose attention is present, and whose energy makes you feel valued the moment you arrive. You shouldn't have to wonder if they're happy to see you. That should be obvious. A person who has emotionally chosen you won't make you guess, because they don't greet you with uncertainty. They greet you with peace, with presence, with a kind of joy that needs no explanation, and that's the kind of love that lasts. There's a common misconception that love is proven through grand romantic gestures, lavish gifts, surprise trips, dramatic declarations. While those can be meaningful, they're not the real measure of how someone feels about you. The truth shows up in the quieter moments, especially in how consistently they show care. When someone greets you with warmth, not once, but every time, it speaks volumes. It means they haven't stopped choosing you. Anyone can make you feel special once, but someone who's truly in it will make you feel chosen again and again, not when it's convenient, not when they want something, but every day like it's part of who they are. Consistency is a quiet kind of love. It doesn't always shout, it doesn't demand attention, but it makes you feel safe in a world that's often uncertain. A steady greeting, full of attention and intention, creates a foundation that's strong enough to last. When someone shows up for you emotionally, even in small ways, you learn to trust them. You stop questioning their feelings because they keep showing them without needing a reason. This isn't about being predictable in a boring way, it's about showing reliability in a beautiful one. The way someone greets you isn't just a mood, it's a habit, and habits reveal values. Inconsistent affection is confusing, even painful. One day, you feel seen and loved. The next, you feel like an afterthought. This emotional roller coaster, there's you second-guessing yourself, wondering what changed or what you did wrong. But when summer greets you with the same warmth every time, it brings emotional clarity. You stop doubting whether they're into you. You stop overanalyzing every interaction. You begin to relax into the relationship because there's a rhythm of care you can count on. That rhythm is what real intimacy is built on. Not adrenaline, not mystery, but mutual emotional presence that doesn't fade with time. Anyone can greet you with excitement at the start when everything is new and exciting. But when someone continues to show up with that same attention after months or even years, that's when it matters most. Familiarity shouldn't breed laziness. It should deepen appreciation. If their greeting still carries warmth even after 100 hellos, it's because their heart is still engaged. They haven't become numb to your presence. They haven't taken you for granted. That kind of consistency isn't just attractive, it's rare. It shows they value you not just as a novelty, but as a necessity in their life. People often talk about butterflies and chemistry, but those things fade if they aren't supported by steady emotional investment. If someone greets you with affection only when they're in a good mood, it creates uncertainty. But if their love is real, they'll greet you with the same kindness, even on tough days. That's how you know they've chosen you beyond circumstance. They don't let stress or distraction keep them from acknowledging you fully. Even if it's just a small smile or a soft word, it matters. Because what they're saying with that gesture is, even now you matter to me. That's real commitment. Steady affection might not feel dramatic, but it's far more meaningful. It's in the way they say your name when you enter the room, the way their voice changes just a little when they greet you, the way they always make a moment for you, even if it's just a few seconds. These small consist. Tense signals are more telling than any love letter. They build a safe emotional space where love can grow. You don't have to constantly prove yourself or earn attention. You're already enough. And their consistent behavior reflects that. You feel wanted without effort. You feel loved without doubt. Consistency isn't about being perfect. It's about being intentional. Life gets busy, moods fluctuate, but someone who truly cares doesn't let those things stop them from showing up for you. They choose to bring kindness, presence and focus into your shared moments, even when it's hard. And especially in their greetings, they let you know you're still my priority. That doesn't require elaborate effort. Sometimes it's just a genuine look into your eyes or a warm touch on your arm. But when those small moments repeat again and again, they become powerful evidence of enduring care. Some people make love feel like a guessing game. One day they're all in, the next they're distant and distracted. You never quite know where you stand. But when someone greets you with consistency, they take the guesswork out of love. You don't have to chase, impress, or constantly seek validation. They've already made their choice, and they reinforce that choice with their behavior every time they see you. Their consistency becomes a form of reassurance, unspoken but deeply felt. You feel seen, not just when it's easy, but always. That's the kind of presence that builds lasting connection. It's not about making every greeting dramatic or exaggerated. It's about making them real. Some days it might just be a glance and a smile. Other days it's an enthusiastic hug. But what matters is that the energy behind it is genuine and repeated. You're never left wondering if they're happy to see you. You know they are because they keep showing you in ways that are small but sincere. That predictability, in the best sense of the word, brings peace. You're not caught in cycles of emotional highs and lows. Instead, you're grounded in a rhythm of mutual care and stability. When someone has truly chosen you, their love becomes part of their daily life, not just something they turn on in special moments. Their greeting becomes a ritual of recognition, a reminder that you belong. That kind of connection doesn't require fireworks. It thrives on emotional reliability. You don't need to wait for anniversaries or big surprises to feel loved. You feel it every day, in their tone, in their touch, in the way they consistently welcome you into their space. That's the real magic of love, not intensity that burns out, but care that stays lit day after day. There's something undeniably powerful about presence, not just physical presence, but emotional and mental presence, the kind that says, I'm fully here with you. In relationships, it's easy to go through the motions, to offer a hello while our minds are elsewhere. But a real connection is made in those moments where someone pauses everything else just to see you. When someone greets you not as a routine, but as a real moment of connection, it's unforgettable. Their phone is down, their thoughts stop spinning, and for those few seconds, nothing else exists but you. That kind of greeting is more than polite, it's intimate. It tells you that your presence makes a difference. And it's in those moments that love becomes tangible. You can't fake presence, you can mimic words, copy gestures, even rehearse tone, but presence is felt, not performed. When someone truly cares, it shows in the way they greet you. Their eyes meet yours fully. Their body turns toward you. Their attention doesn't drift. That kind of greeting doesn't need a script because it's coming from a place of real emotion. It might be subtle, it might be quiet, but it's unmistakable. It feels like you matter, not just in what you bring, but in who you are. Presence says, I see you, and that message lingers long after the moment passes. We often look for love in what people say, but the truth is usually in what they do when no one's watching. When someone greets you with true presence, they're giving you something valuable: focus, energy, time. They're telling you, without words, that you're worth pausing for. That your entrance is not just noticed but felt. You don't feel like you've interrupted their life. You feel like you've enhanced it. That kind of attention isn't accidental, it's an emotional investment. Even a simple hi can feel like a moment of connection when it's offered with true awareness and care. Some people greet you with habit, others greet you with heart. The difference is night and day. You can feel it in the energy. When someone's heart is engaged, they don't just acknowledge you, they welcome you. There's a softness in their expression, a warmth in their tone, a relaxation in their posture. You can tell that they're not just doing what's expected, they're responding to how they feel. And when someone feels something real for you, their presence shows it. You don't need to hear, "I missed you," when their entire being already says it before they even speak. In today's world, distraction is everywhere. People are pulled in 1,000 directions at once. Texts, notifications, deadlines, thoughts. So when someone greets you with their full attention, it's not just rare, it's sacred. They're choosing to be with you in that moment, to step out of their mental clutter and into emotional clarity. That kind of choice doesn't happen on accident. It means you matter enough for them to slow down. And when someone slows down to meet you with presence, it becomes more than a greeting, it becomes a statement. You are worth my time, my energy, and my awareness. You've likely experienced the difference between someone who greets you while half scrolling their phone and someone who stops what you're doing to really say hello. One feels transactional, the other feels relational. The act may be small, but the impact is deep. When someone chooses to be present with you, even briefly, it builds trust. It tells you that they're not just checking a box. They're showing up emotionally and energetically in a way that makes you feel grounded. That sense of groundedness is often what we mistake for chemistry. It's actually presence meeting presence. Inconsistent presence creates insecurity. When you're not sure if someone will be emotionally available when you show up, it leaves you walking on eggshells. But when someone consistently greets you with presence, you start to relax, you stop overanalyzing, you stop wondering, you feel seen and safe. That's when connection deepens, not during grand performative moments, but during the simple hellos and how are yous that are offered with depth and sincerity. Presence has a way of softening everything. It lowers defenses. It makes vulnerability feel welcome. And in that space, real love can take root. Being fully present with someone doesn't require hours of conversation. It can be a single look, a pause, a smile that lingers just a second longer than expected. It's in these tiny gestures that you realize someone isn't just acknowledging you, they're experiencing you. You can feel the difference between being glanced at and being truly seen, between being greeted out of routine and being welcomed out of emotion. When someone is present in their greeting, they're saying, "You're not background noise in my day, you're the part I was waiting for." And that realization can change how you view the entire relationship. Presence builds emotional safety, and emotional safety builds connection. When someone greets you with awareness, with care, and with real attention, you start to feel valued without needing to ask for it. You stop questioning where you stand. You start showing up more authentically, because you know that who you are will be received with openness. That's the power of presence. It doesn't just make you feel good in the moment. It invites you to be more of yourself. And when two people bring that level of presence to each other, even the simplest moments become deeply meaningful. You deserve to be greeted with presence. You deserve to be looked at with eyes that don't rush past you. You deserve to be heard with ears that aren't already thinking of the next distraction. When someone chooses to greet you with their whole attention, it's a gift. And it's a reflection of where you live in their priorities. Not because you demanded it, not because they were trained to do it, but because their heart is already aligned with you. That kind of presence can't be taught. It's chosen again and again. And once you've felt it, you'll never confuse it with anything less. There's something deeply telling about the way someone greets you. It's not just a social formality, it's a window into how they feel about you. If their hello is flat, distracted, or lacking warmth, it can leave you questioning your place in their world. A lazy, indifferent greeting isn't neutral. It sends a message. It tells you exactly how much or how little they've emotionally invested in you. On the other hand, a sincere, intentional greeting is a sign of recognition, of value, of care. You don't need to overthink it. You don't need to justify cold behavior as someone just being busy. Because when someone genuinely cares, it shows right from the moment you walk into the room. There's no excuse strong enough to explain away consistent low effort. If someone can scroll through their phone for hours, maintain energy with friends, or laugh with co-workers, but suddenly offers you only a tired hey that speaks louder than words, you shouldn't have to convince someone to be glad to see you. If you have to search for a meaning in their tone or wonder whether you're being too sensitive, that's already a sign you're being emotionally starved. A real connection doesn't leave you guessing. It feels like clarity. It makes you feel chosen without trying. No one is too busy to show appreciation in a simple, heartfelt greeting. It takes seconds, not efforts. It's easy to mistake crumbs for a meal when you've been emotionally deprived. You might tell yourself, at least they said something, or maybe they're tired. But over time, those excuses begin to wear thin. If someone only ever offers you a half-hearted hello, you begin to feel invisible. You start shrinking. You stop expecting more because you've been trained to survive on less. That isn't love. That's emotional neglect wrapped in politeness. And you deserve so much more than that. You deserve to be greeted like your presence matters, because it does. When someone truly sees you, it's obvious. They don't let you walk in without acknowledgement. Affection doesn't need to be loud, but it does need to be real. A person who truly values you might greet you quietly, but there will be warmth. There will be a pause in their day that shows you were worth stopping for. Their eyes will soften, their body will turn towards you. There will be a shift, not in volume, but in energy. You will feel welcomed, not tolerated. That kind of authenticity can't be faked or forced. It's either there or it's not. And when it is, even a single word can carry so much weight because it's backed by real emotion, not empty routine. People who genuinely care don't treat your arrival as an interruption. They treat it like something worth noticing. Whether you've been away for hours or just stepped out briefly, the way they greet you is consistent. Not because they're trying to impress you, but because you matter to them every time. When someone's heart is truly invested, effort becomes natural. You won't feel like you're inconveniencing them. You'll feel like they're glad to have you near. And that feeling of being welcome is one of the most powerful forms of emotional connection you can experience. When you're important to someone, their behavior doesn't leave room for doubt. You won't have to overanalyze their tone or replay their words in your head. You'll just feel it. Love isn't always grand or dramatic. It often shows up in the ordinary moments, like how someone says hello. That greeting tells you if they're present or distracted, interested or indifferent, connected or detached. And over time, those tiny moments form the emotional tone of your relationship. If each one feels cold, you'll begin to feel alone, even when you're not physically by yourself. That's how emotional distance begins. In the greetings we ignore. Some people treat love like a convenience. They give when it's easy, pull back when it requires effort. But love doesn't work like that. It needs nurturing, even in the simplest moments, especially in the simplest moments. A warm greeting is a daily reminder that you still matter, that no matter what else is happening, your presence brings something valuable. It doesn't take much, a smile, a quick hug, a shift in tone, but it means everything. When someone gives you that without needing to be reminded or asked, it shows that their heart is still showing up too. You shouldn't have to earn kindness from someone you're emotionally close to. You shouldn't be performing for warmth, competing for attention, or waiting until they're in the mood to treat you with affection. A real relationship feels safe, consistent, and emotionally generous. If you're always wondering how they'll react when you enter the room, something's wrong. You should feel stable in their care, not confused by it. And the way they greet you is a daily measure of that stability. If they greet you with emotional coldness, they're telling you they've withdrawn. If they greet you with love, they're telling you they're still here. It's not about expecting perfection. People have bad days, they get tired, but someone who loves you doesn't let those things turn into patterns of neglect. They still find a way to say, I'm glad you're here, even in small, quiet ways. That's what separates temporary distance from emotional abandonment. It's not about energy levels, it's about emotional intention. If they care, they'll show up even when they're running low. If they don't, they'll let everything else come first. And in those greetings, you'll begin to see the truth, not in what they say, but in how they show up for you. You are not asking for too much when you expect to be greeted with real warmth. You're not needy, you're not dramatic, you are simply in tune with what real connection feels like. And once you've experienced that, it's hard to accept anything less. A greeting might seem small, but it's the doorway to emotional intimacy. It tells you if you're welcome in someone's life or just passing through. So if someone greets you like they've already chosen you, you'll know. And if they greet you like you're an obligation, you'll know that too. Don't ignore those signs. They speak the truth, even when words don't